What is up, everybody? It is officially game week for the New Orleans Saints. Week 1 is upon us. They take on the Arizona Cardinals this coming up Sunday. So for this final film review before the regular season starts, I thought let's take a look at the starting offensive line and how they performed in the final preseason game against the Denver Broncos. Now, there are a couple guys missing, right? Fuaga's not out there and Penning is not out there, but we don't know, the extent of Penning's injury, if he'll be out there week 1. Fuaga probably will be, but for the most part, you have Rattler out there, you have Miller out there who's going to be getting a ton of carries this year if he stays healthy. You got the starting receivers, tight ends. Most of what you're going to see on Sunday is what we saw for a little bit of time in week 3 of the preseason. So I thought let's go over the offensive line's performance to see what we can expect going forward this season. Alrighty, this first play here, this is actually an RPO. Rattler hands it off. He could have thrown it as well, but I like the decision to hand it off because Miller, you can see, gets a good amount of yards on the play. And I like this play because, it's a mid-zone run, right? So we're gonna zone run it to the right here, but I really like what Cesar Ruiz and Eric McCoy have going on here. So they're gonna use what's called a fold block technique. So when you have the offensive line zoning to the left, like everybody's zoning to the left, some of these blocks can be tough to make, right? Like if Eric McCoy had to snap this thing and then try and reach this guy, that's a tough ask, right? He can do it because he's elite, but why not make this thing a fold block here? So basically what they're going to do is instead of trying to do that, they're just going to have Cesar Ruiz block back on 97, Malcolm Roach there, former New Orleans Saints, shout out. And then they're going to have Eric McCoy fold in behind him to come and take on, whoever he sees fit, right? So you can see here, let me get that off the screen. That's exactly what ends up happening. So Ruiz is going to end up blocking back here, and we're going to have Eric McCoy blocking the blitzing linebacker, and you can see all these guys on the left side do a really nice job of walling this off. Ruiz does a good enough job, and Eric McCoy does a good enough job, and then Landon Young over here holding that edge, and then Miller does the rest of the work by himself, right? Huge hole to run through. I like it. Hits the edge, hits the corner, and gets a good 8 yards on the play. Next one here, we get a 7-yard gain, but it ends up coming back because of a ticky-tack holding call on Juwan Johnson. I mean, you can see him right out here. If they want to call that, fine, I guess, right? Like, it's not holding to me. I guess when he gets rid of him right here, they want to call that hold, whatever. It's a little wishy-washy to me, but anyways, I like the design. So this is going to be duo, right? We're going to run duo here, and basically we're going to get double teams up front, right? That's what duo is. We're going to have the tackle locking out the backside, and then we're going to have Juwan Johnson blocking down here, or blocking this number 0, this edge. And then what I like about this is they're actually going to have Rashid Shaheed come at the snap and fill in the hole to take care of this second level defender here, and he actually does a really nice job of it as well. You can see there's a nice hole to run through, right? But what I want to pay attention to is look at Kendre Miller. So basically what he's doing on this play is he's reading number 40, right? He's going to try and go where he isn't. So once he sees 40 fill this hole downhill like he does here, he knows immediately he has to bounce this thing outside, right? This is his read. If 40 comes downhill, he goes outside. If 40 were to stay put and maybe flow outside, he would come downhill to this hole right here. So you can see he reads this thing correctly. He finds the hole and picks up 7 yards, which is a really good gain in the NFL. But unfortunately, it comes back for holding. But I do like the play. I do like the job the offensive line did. There's actually a pretty tough block here from Landon Young. Because number 99 kind of spikes outside a little bit, but you can see he kind of just moves him, torques him, and gets him out of the way. And in my opinion, it's a good block by Juwan Johnson, but they call it holding. And then, of course, Eric McCoy over here does a nice job. And then the left side of the offensive line does a nice job of moving these guys out of the play. So overall, really nice play from everybody, despite the penalty. Next one here, we end up with a free rusher to the quarterback, as you can see. Right, and this is what you call a simulated pressure. So you can kind of see him off the screen here, but what we have up front is, if you look over here, there's a guy kind of creeping up to the line of scrimmage. So the Saints have to respect that, right? They have to respect that threat. So they're going to slide their line to the left. So in theory, you would have McCoy to pick up him, Dylan Reduns to pick up him, and then Kelvin Banks Jr. would slide out here and pick up the blitzer. And the back is going to be out on a route, so it's just a 5-man protection. And then on the backside, you would have here and here. But what the Broncos do is they're actually going to drop people out and bring this guy off the edge. Nobody's accounting for him, right? It's a simulated pressure. They're going to simulate pressure on this side, but they're going to drop out and end up bringing the pressure on this side. And because the Saints had to slide left to pick up this guy out here, there's nobody to account for the blitzing DB on the other side. It's really a nasty design from the Broncos, especially preseason football. I mean, you see at the snap, 52 drops out, and then really the Saints end up sliding left for one guy, right? They do it. Now McCoy ends up doing a really nice job of noticing it and getting his head back inside and picking up 99. But by that time, it's just, we got a free hitter on the quarterback and we get an incompletion. So this is just one of them plays where, it's a really good call from the defense. The offense wasn't expecting it, and it's kind of just up to the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands quickly. And he tries to do that here, but Pat Surtain was ready for the hit. I mean, it really was a nasty call from the Broncos, especially in preseason, but these are looks that they are going to see all year long. Next one here, we get an incomplete pass, but I really want to focus on Kelvin Banks Jr. here, the rookie first rounder, because this is just an excellent rep here. So he's going to use independent hands here, right? And first things first, the set, buttery smooth, gets to a set point perfectly, right? Knee to crotch ratio. But watch this. He's going to use independent hands, meaning he's going to throw his hands independently. So the first one he's going to throw is that outside strike to that shoulder right there. Boom, lands it. But then watch what he does with the inside hand. This defender tries to go for sort of maybe like some sort of long arm into the chest. But watch Kelvin Banks Jr. while he has his outside hand landed and planted. Watch what he does to this defender's inside hand. Boom, knocks it down with his other hand. Right, and from there leans on him, stays in front of him the entire rep, and wins the rep. I mean, that's just an excellent rep from the rookie. High level stuff, independent hands, knock that hand off, and win the rep. Next one here, this time the Saints do a really nice job of picking up this DB blitz on the outside. So basically the defensive line are all going to stunt to their right. Okay, and then they're going to bring a guy off the edge here. And it's a really nice job, particularly by the left side, really working through this thing. And also Kendre Miller identifying it and potentially going over to help. He doesn't end up needing to help because the offensive line takes care of it. But let's just watch this thing play out. So you could see off the snap, everybody is stunning to their right? So it ends up being distributed perfectly. So McCoy ends up taking 97 here. The right guard notices it as well, Ruiz, and he absorbs 0. But Landon Young, for as many times as we've seen this guy get beat, this is a really high IQ play from him. So he notices it, recognizes what's going on, passes off 0, and then gets out there to 22 to pick him up, right? Really nice job. Okay, and you can see Kendre Miller, he's scanning for any threats, and he notices 22 as well, and he was there for the save as well. So really, this is what a functional offensive line unit should look like right here against a blitz. Recognize it and take care of the threat, just like they did here, and then Rattler puts it on the money for a nice completion. Here we let a sack happen, right? Really take an L at the right guard position. Don't do a nice job at the right tackle position either. We get pushed way too far back. You can see Rattler initially wants to go to his left, doesn't like it, pulls it down, and he kind of does panic a little bit here, right? He kind of just pulls it down and looks to run. Maybe if he would have reset his feet, he could have found something else, but really want to pay attention to the right guard here, Ruiz. I mean, initially that's a nice job, right? But it's sustaining the block, right? We use a two-handed punch here, and that's why I don't like two-handed punches. I prefer independent hands, because when you throw 2 punches, if the defender knocks your hands off, they're both off, right? You don't have another hand to recover with. So here, we just get hit with a nasty club, sort of an arm over, and then we get sacked, right? Not good. Next one here, I really want to focus on Banks once again. It's just another really nice rep from him, man. Really patient in his set, patient with his hands, and when he does finally decide to throw his strike, he does it beautifully, right? So what do we have? So watch the set first of all, just buttery smooth all around. He uses his length here. It's another thing I like, right? Watch this. So patient with his hands, lets the defensive end do his little, hand work, whatever he wants to do here. But watch this when he throws, boom, right there. Knocks the defender's head back with the strike, right? And then from there, we're just keeping our distance. One arm is longer than 2 if you're an offensive lineman, and just completely stonewalls them. I mean, just another excellent rep from the rookie, who I really have high expectations for. All right, last one we'll look at here, and again, the Broncos are going to bring another blitz from depth from a DB, and it's picked up perfectly, right? This is picture perfect right here. It's sorted out nicely. So McCoy going to take care of this nose that spikes inside or comes inside. Raduns is going to take care of the defensive end that comes inside. And then Banks Jr. does a really nice job here of noticing, right? When he sees this guy come inside, he knows he needs to get his eyes outside. And he does exactly that. And he, is there to stay in front of him and pick him up, right? Right side of the offensive line does a really nice job in their one-on-ones. Against Cesar Ruiz, takes care of his guy. Landon Young takes care of his guy. And this is exactly the type of pocket that Spencer Rattler is going to need to succeed this season, right? He gets the ball out, gets a completion. Nice job, right? And so that's going to be the final play. Just real quick, I want to talk about expectations that I have for each guy at the position. So we'll just start from left to right. Banks, I have high expectations for him. I really do. Of course, he is a rookie. There are going to be times when he gets beat. There are going to be times when he whiffs on a block, but it's all part of the process, right? But I do have high expectations for him. I think he's going to be a home run pick for the New Orleans Saints, right? Left tackle position, we're going to assume it's going to be Trevor Penning, a guy that struggled at left tackle, moved to right tackle last year, struggled to start the year, but got better as the year went on. He was really a really good run blocker last year, but struggled in pass pro. Now he moves to left guard. Hopefully this is it for him. Hopefully it all clicks and comes together for Trevor Penning, and he can put it all into one, become way better at pass protecting, and pair that with his run blocking skills, and he can just, put it all together, right? The Saints need it. Eric McCoy, don't even have to say anything about him. Elite. Everybody knows it. You know it. I know it. Everybody in the stadium knows it. NFL knows it. Everybody knows how good Eric McCoy is. Cesar Ruiz, man, listen. I'm going to be honest, guys. He has looked pretty terrible throughout the preseason, and that really, really worries me. He has looked horrible. He has gotten beat way more times than he used to be comfortable with, or, even in the limited reps that he has had, he has gotten beat just way too many times. So expectations for him are very low. Okay, and then right tackle Fuaga, it'll be, again, high expectations, phenomenal rookie year, now moving to right tackle where he played in college. So hopefully he can pick up where he left off, both, from college at the right tackle position and play-wise from his left tackle position last year that he played. So high expectations for both of those tackles. We're good at center. The only question marks are the guards. But we'll see. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.